Good afternoon, families. It is Friday, February 9th, 2024, and I'm coming to you with our vlog roundup for the week. So we'll get into our top three. Next week, Valentine's Day is Wednesday. We're going to be decorating some bags in preparation for our celebration. If you are finishing cards, if you'd like to participate, please, when you are done labeling those, send them in a bag labeled with your students' names so that way we can kind of keep track of those things. It makes a really big difference. So that is very helpful. You can send those in whenever you like before Wednesday, and even on Wednesdays too, of course. That works really well. As we approach our 100th day as well, which is crazy that Valentine's Day and the 100th day are on the same week because there's just so much excitement. We all get really excited, and then we have a hard time focusing. Next week, Friday, is our 100th day, and so we're going to be celebrating our 100th day by doing a bunch of small 100-day things here at school. And that brings us up to an email that you should have gotten this afternoon about a 100-day project. In a gallon Ziploc bag or smaller, a collection of 100 things. Be as unique as you can. Have students count those things. We found the best things to do is count into sets of 10 and organize them as well. So the email has a sheet with it for you to kind of just look and give you some ideas and tips. But as I said, be creative, have fun, count together. Counting up to 100 takes a while, but is a lot of fun. In support of that, our number 3 is we're going to need some special stuff for our Friday celebration of 100th day. 2 to 4 large size bags or boxes of Fruit Loops. I can't tell you what they're for, but I will tell you we are going to be using them in our pursuit of 100 things. And it's a lot of fun, and then our room will smell delicious. Let's get into the rest of our vlog for the week. All right, so in phonics, we have completed our alphabet, and we have started with a little bit of short vowel review, which for us now looks like every single day reading more and more and more, practicing decoding and blending, but also working on our comprehension. After reading something, what was it about? Can you answer a question about a specific detail in a story? Students doing pretty good. It's going to take us a while, but it's getting us ready for taking book bags home. Now in math, we've completed our initial exposure to number and number comparisons using sets and objects and amounts, comparing numbers, and then even this last week, the volume of objects using measuring cups. So we got to use some fun cups to measure the volume of stuff, like how much capacity, that's the word of the week, can something hold? We found out when we're talking about capacity, think kind of like being an ice cream scooper. Nobody wants half a scoop of ice cream. So when you scoop to measure, also when you're cooking in the kitchen, you want to fill that scoop to capacity. So when you count your scoops of flour, if you're making pancakes or cookies, the scoop is all the way to the top. It's very important, otherwise it's not a full scoop and it doesn't quite work. We finished all of our number and comparisons for Module 3, so that workbook should have come home today. So that's fantastic. We're starting Module 4 this next week, which is part whole, number composition and decomposition, which is essentially addition and subtraction, and then putting those things into sentences. Next week's vlog, I'll get to tell you for the first time all about number bonds, which if you have an older student, you probably already know all about number bonds, but if you don't, buckle up. We're going to learn something together new about math. It's really fun. In reading, we spent another long chunk of reading time practicing reading in our books, switching out and looking for books that we're interested in, getting harder and trickier books, reading with partners. Students are making faster and faster progress in decoding with words and working to remember the high-frequency words that don't always follow the rules, and helping identify some of those newer, trickier words that maybe have new rules like silent E, or vowel patterns where 2 vowels are next to each other, or consonant digraphs like T and H and WH, things that we see a lot, but it takes a while to practice learning them. So we're getting better and better. And that brings us up to February. It's Black History Month. So in the month of February, all of my read-alouds will be focused on some amazing books. And we've been reading some amazing books in the classroom, and I really wanted to share a couple with you. You might notice behind me I've got just a ton of amazing books, and these are all books that are on our shelf here in the classroom. So as we read them, students are like, oh, that's what we read. I want to read it again. So we read Grace for President by Kelly DiPuccio. Fantastic book. She kind of notices that there's nothing but a bunch of old white guys who've been president up until this point when this book was written, and decides she's going to change the world and she wants to run for president. It's a fantastic book. So good. This is one of my all-time favorites. I read this for the first time when I watched Reading Rainbow with LeVar Burton way back in the day. So there's a book called Galimoto by Karen Lynn Williams. It's all about a little boy and who wants to build something, and it's a really cool story. I love it a lot. This is another amazing book that has a really cool short movie that goes with it. It's called Hair Love by Matthew Cherry. Just a fantastically, beautifully written book. Great story, and the movie it's like 7 minutes. It's on YouTube. It's really, really good. Another book that we read today, one of my favorites, it's called Seven Spools of Thread. It is a Kwanzaa story, but it's by Angela Shelf Medeiros, and it's all about 7 brothers, and it's the story of the history and the origins of what's called kente cloth. So if you know what kente cloth is, you know that there are multicolored fabrics and cloths that come out of all sorts of different places in Africa, and this is kind of like an origin story, like a fable origin story about that. Now, the cool thing about this is it's all about like taking care of the people in the family you're with and learning how to work together and not argue and fight. Great story, and we're going to be maybe making our own kente cloth and making it into a kente cloth drum. This is my drum right here. It holds my colored pencils and markers. I think either this next week or in the next week after. And then, of course, we make drums. We're going to have to play them and make a concert, so that's just awesome. But, yeah, the weather's been crazy, amazingly beautiful. So, but please watch for it because it can be windy and still be chilly, even though it says it's going to be warm. But I hope you are safe. I hope you are healthy. I definitely got a little sick this last week and weekend, so I was out for a few days. Which is always hard, but I heard on good authority from Miss A-OK that our class did an amazing job about following our routines and procedures and expectations, things that we have learned and practiced this whole year. So, way to go, robots. Well, have a fantastic weekend, and go Super Bowl Sunday if you're a football fan. If not, go having great weather, and I will see you next week for a very calm and relaxed Valentine's and 100th day week. Have a great weekend. Bye.